tired, can't be asked, unmotivated, and we're going to talk about all that in today's episode. So we were just thinking like what we're going to talk about, and it was like we've had a full day shoot. Well, you've been shooting, I've been editing, delivering jobs, calls, all that. I'm so tired, and we're just like really struggling at the moment. And it's like, well, let's talk about that, because there's many times, as much as it's wonderful, right, doing this for a living, just because you love it doesn't mean you always want to do it.
Yes. Story of my life, to be honest with you. It's my own fault, completely and utterly my own fault.
Why is it your own fault?
Because we've been doing this podcast, and we've been really trying to give as much help and advice to people as we can from our experiences. And to me, we want to be as positive as we can about it. But sometimes, like you say, it isn't. And sometimes, me personally, I can't do what I preach. I think everyone deals with that, don't they? They try, but maybe it's just me. But
no, it's not just you. Like some days you're just in front of the computer.
Exactly.
I shared a meme today,
right.
And it's a guy. What people think it's like editing, and he's like, yeah. What it's really like, and he's just like,
store me up.
And so it's so difficult to break.
I absolutely love what we do. I really, really do. But I want to be the best that I can, and I want to do this. But sometimes it's just so hard, and that's part of the battle, though, isn't it? Really, especially as not having a 9 to 5, you just kind of go in, do the work that's in front of you, and go. You've got to find that motivation.
Because you haven't got a boss.
There's no one. There is pressure and there's deadlines and stuff, but you haven't got that direct person to go. Oi,
you've not got someone going over you going, "Why aren't you editing? Why are you scrolling Instagram, mate?" Get on with that edit.
Yeah,
no one does that.
No. And you
so
be your own boy.
We talked about this in another episode, but I've got an app on my phone to block me from going on social media, because sometimes I get stuck and I'm just like, oh God, I see what. Or I voice note you, go, "Hi mate, what you want to do?" Not much really, just trying to do this edit. I'm late on 16 wedding edits.
Oh, fuck's sake.
How many is it right now?
12, I think. And I'm working.
Are they 12? Are all those late?
No.
How many's late?
7, 8.
7 brides going, "Send me that fucking edit."
I'm so. If you are listening to this and you're on I'm so sorry. I am working. It's just hard. Like I'm working all the time. And I'm just
always working and getting nowhere, just treading water.
Honestly,
Try not to sink.
It's just so. It really, really. It's one of the biggest things that I was shocked about from going from the RAC into this. Is just how much I have to lean on myself to do the work and motivate myself. And I just want to be that better person and want to be better at what I do and be successful at what I do. But sometimes it's just not there in my day. Not.
I think there's social media is to blame sometimes, right? Because you see all these you'll see a
get
really
up at 3 o'clock in the morning if you haven't done 10 hours of work before 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
are
that's
you even a real person?
Is that guy that's like, I've got 3 days in my 24 hours. I start at something like 4 a.m. and by 10 a.m. that's day one. And like, mate, really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I think more so for me is seeing people put out great work.
Yeah.
And you kind of assume that they're this hyper productive. They're going, like you say, they're going for the runs, they're going to the gym, they're smashing out edits, and they're just living the dream. Yeah. But we know
inevitably it can't be all. Like, I don't even know. You know what the term is?
It's not
sunshine and whatever. It's
sunshine and rainbows.
Is that? Yeah, there we go. It was there.
That sounded good.
You're doing another one of your.
I'm definitely in waves. Like some weeks, I feel like that guy on Instagram who's killing the day.
Yeah. You message me, I'll get these motivational talks, and I was like, oh, all right, morning, Gav.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, and then other times you're like, yeah, I'm really struggling today. Sometimes you're just staring at the screen and you're just like, fuck. And it's not like that on shoots, though, is it?
No, it isn't.
Because you got the client there.
True.
They're your boss. They're there. You can't just be going, hold on. Yeah, we'll just take a break. I'm just going to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you pick up your phone.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, I have weeks where I'm just like, I've got so much done. I could sometimes get a week's worth of, like a bad week, I can get that amount of work in a day.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And
Just
other
so
times,
focused and on the ball with it, aren't you?
are terrible.
What annoys me about it though is when I am absolutely bang on the ball about it and I'm gonna smash it through, and I'm going, I've had a really great day. The endorphin, is it endorphins?
Dolphins?
The endorphins,
Those little dolphins.
Endorphin. Like it just run through me. I'm like, fuck yeah, It's like great, and then I'm like, run tomorrow. I'm gonna do the same. I think a little bit distracted, and then it doesn't. And I'm like,
And you don't.
and I'm horrendous for getting like, if I've missed out, if the first 2 hours of the day haven't gone how I've wanted to, I'm almost angry at myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck's sake, Mitch. But then I'm in a mood, so then I can't get. I struggle to get past
really?
it to go like, oh
No,
I need to do that.
I kind of just if sometimes the day starts a bit slower and it takes me a little while to go, but I kind of become comfortable in having days where I'm not on it.
Yeah.
Whereas before I would really pressurize myself that I need to have a full day's work.
Yeah, I'm still exactly there, mate.
But sometimes you just need to step away from the computer and go watch some Netflix.
Yeah.
Or jump on Warzone. Well, we don't do that.
Well, mate, Warzone might be a bad example for us, especially.
But generally, as I've progressed, I feel like, I'm not feeling it today. I'm just gonna go, do some errands in town or whatever it is. I don't give myself that pressure anymore unless I have a deadline.
Yeah,
but if I have a deadline, I'll do it in a time.
You are good at it. You are like, there has been times I've gone, fancy Warzone, and you'll be like, well, I can't. I have got it. You are very good at, right, I've got to do this.
Because I don't want to let down clients.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing a client can say to me is like, when do you need it by? And they go, whenever. I'm like, can you just give me a date?
Yeah.
Please tell me you need it by next week.
Yeah.
And then it'll be done. And there's some sort of theory, and I can't remember what this is, and it's got a name, and it basically the theory is that you will give an edit will take as long as the time you're given. So if they go anytime, then I'll take me.
100%.
It'll take me until their message.
Yeah.
That's for me. How you getting on? How's the edit coming along? I'm like, well, I've not started it yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, we could do with it, and then I get it done.
To be honest with you, this is probably why I've got myself in the position in regards to my wedding edits recently, is because I had that frame of mind, or how you want to do it, at the beginning of the season. I was like, right then, my time is 8 weeks. I've got 8 weeks to do it. And then I didn't take into consideration that by the time those 8 weeks come around, I would have had 10 weddings in my bucket to go, or whatever. In
your bucket.
What is it? I'm horrendous like this.
You say some really fucking stupid things.
I tried to go, I want to be intellectual.
I want to come up with a new terminology. My wedding
Mitch
bucket.
Dictionary. What is it in my
Mitch Dictionary? MIT. Mitchinary.
Yeah,
something like that.
What is the term? There's a term. Come on. What is it?
What? I don't know. In your bucket?
In my pocket, in my work bag. I'm just going off on a bit of a tangent.
In the backlog. I don't know, but he's right. The wedding industry, just to quickly touch on this, it's so funny. Because in weddings, you get paid before you actually shoot.
Oh, and that's another
one. You're paid in full before you do any work.
Yeah.
Corporate's not like that.
No.
I take 50%.
Yeah.
And then I invoice for the rest after filming.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's before I finish the edit, and sometimes it's not, whatever. But in weddings, it's like, give me all the money. I'm now working for free in my head.
Yeah. Yes.
So and I've got 8 weeks to do it, because that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
And you take 8 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not that, and that there's not that money motivation behind it.
No.
Right then, you know what you think's coming in, but it's not coming in because you haven't finished the work. But with weddings, it's that mental kind of like, oh, fuck. I am now doing work for free. Well, you're not, because you've been paid for it, and it's gone into your lifestyle and your pocket and kind of stuff.
Someone said in a photography group, and he was so bang on that I'm in, and he said the turnaround times on wedding jobs would be way quicker if you didn't ask for the full amount 4 weeks before you do the work. And I was like, true.
Yeah. True. It's
maybe you should just start saying, don't pay me till I've delivered the edit.
It has crossed my mind. That's crossed my mind. But I have, like I said, going back to the wedding side of things, in regard, that is what I'm trying to say is it's leading me on to I put pressure on myself, and I'm obviously then so I am giving myself 8 weeks to do, and I'm like, right then, well, come 6 weeks, I'll go through it.
I'll start.
But yeah, I'll start, and that's
then what
fine.
happens?
That's because that's the kind of the standard, if you want to say it. Then I go, right then, I'm going to start it now. But then
What happens?
another job is there. And you kind of
corporate job.
a corporate job, or even like some other wedding stuff's there, or something's going on. You're like, fuck, actually, you haven't got the time I thought I had 6 weeks prior to that. So, well, with corporate stuff, to me anyway, it's not necessarily that far in advance. So I think in 8 weeks, I've got nothing planned in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I've got the time to do it. But then when the time actually comes around, you that far forward in
And lots of
other
things-
work, aren't you?
And lots of things can happen. Like you might have delivered on a job and you've not had feedback yet, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh yeah, we want these changes," and
yeah.
you're like, "All right, that's just added onto my plate, so maybe I won't get to that wedding edit today."
That is 100% the story of my life. I really go to do it, and then something creeps in. I'm forever going, right then, next week. For instance, as of today, next week, I've got no video shoot, no actual shooting in. So in my head, I'm like, right then, 5 days, I'm going to smash the edit out. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to smash all the edits out because I've got the time to do it. And I will get through a lot of it, and I do work, but something will crop in.
A lot.
And that
Half a video.
That'll crop in, and will just take me off my flow, or take more time than I can anticipate, or think that's going to take.
What do you do to try and like keep on it then?
Well, that's the big question.
What do you do? What do you not do? Yeah, I think going over it again, for me, it's just that fluidity of just no deadline. That's what crops me up. You know, when I'm most productive is when I'm really busy, because I'm like, right, okay, I've got that shoot next week, I've got that shoot, I've got to deliver on that edit. I'm like, I have to do this now, or people are going to be upset.
Yeah.
It's when things are just like on this little
Yeah.
not much on, still work to do.
Yeah.
And it's like enough to keep me doing stuff every day, but not like, oh my God, this is like this pressure. When the pressure's there, I am on it. So I know I just need to be on this, just on the edge of stress.
It's just an edge
That's
of,
me. That's my
your sweet spot.
Yeah, my sweet spot is just on the edge of like, oh fuck. And if I can just coast on that, I'm a mint.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I am a machine.
Yeah,
but
you are good at that.
But then sometimes it goes a little bit too much, and then this last couple of weeks has been crazy, and I've just like come into here today after work. I'm just like, oh my God, I've got to think about and I've got all these things going on in my head.
Yeah.
My missus is always like, make a list. I was like, I do, but then I miss things off.
I've horrendous that. I've got better, obviously, having these conversations with you, especially having the joint lists and lists on my phone and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like we've got these little lists, haven't we? We
Yeah.
share and we can update them, and that's good. But sometimes you forget to look at the list. I've started writing things on pen and paper again.
Yeah.
So it's literally in front of me.
Yeah.
And I cross it out.
Oh,
It's great. It's like,
sounds really satisfying.
yeah, sometimes I'll do a job that's not on the list, and I'll add it to the list.
We had this conversation. Yeah. Oh, I've done that today. Make sure
Oh,
it's on
that
this.
wasn't on the list. Put it on the list.
And
cross
then
it out.
cross
You're
it out because I've done it.
Result.
Like on these lists, rather than once I've done them, I tick them and they're done and delete them. I don't. I put them on my list below. That's done list.
Oh,
so then when the list is like
so you
20,
just got
I'm
like, look at all that
oh.
did over the last 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, and it just, it's like, well, I have been very productive because have you seen my notes and my list?
Look
on my
at all
phone?
this. Hold on, that says January 2021.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it counts, right?
Yeah.
How much sleep you having? Have less sleep.
I'm horrendous
it.
at having sleep. If
How
I don't
much
have
sleep do you have?
I'll probably have
night?
I'll probably have my good solid 8 hours. But
Do you?
it's a little bit
And you've
broken.
got kids as well.
Yeah, to be fair, they're great when they sleep. They're
I average
fantastic.
about
sleep.
7.
Yeah, if I get less than that, I don't function. I probably struggle to function on 8 properly.
Really?
And that's like
You struggle to function on 8 hours.
Yeah, wouldn't no, I
Wowzers.
wouldn't say. Is that right? I think struggle to function. It's more so. I'm only at peak when I have decent sleep, because I say 8 hours it's a broken 8 hours. Like if I have a solid basically I function better when I've got my sleep. So to try and eat into that, people like I know people and even yourself and that are like, right then I'll just smash it until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But I'll reach a point where I'm that tired, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
And like you say, I know we were joking about it, is lead into that, but I just can't.
I did a job in America last year. Well, it's a year ago now. Jesus Christ, that's a year ago.
it
That was
really?
October last year.
Really?
Not long wrapped it up as well. It went on forever. But yeah, that was there was a deadline, and I had a lot. It was all talking head stuff, so it was
a lot
easy
you
to
filmed
edit.
for a week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I filmed for a week, so there was a lot of it was online course content, and I was doing 14-hour days every day for about a week.
Yeah.
I was fine with it because I had that pressure. I was knackered.
Yeah.
I was getting up. I was editing till bedtime.
Yeah.
Stopping for food and toilet.
You're a better man than me, because I wish I could do that. And I think because a lot of it is me trying to realise my capacity of workload. I want to be able to go, right then, fuck it, I'm just going to smash it out. But I haven't got that mental capacity to do it. It hurt, but that upsets me sometimes, because then I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I was a better man.
Yeah, but we've all got weak spots.
Yeah. Have you?
I'm
Gav. No.
weak spots. Cinnamon buns and coffee.
Coffee. Good coffee. Yeah.
Weak spots are feeling guilty sometimes for not putting in a good amount of work, but then also, like I said, I think earlier, that being okay with just all right. Yeah, you're not feeling it today.
Yeah.
Just
That's
have
about
some time off.
Yeah, that, like what you said is exactly right, and that's a battle that I'm trying to get over. I'm not like going up. I'm trying to say going over the hill with it. Like I'm starting to realise that I need to be better. Not better. I need to realise this is the case.
For me, I've got a 16-year-old who is self-sufficient. Your lads are hard work.
They're lovely boys. They're
They're
intense,
great
aren't they?
And very cute.
Yeah.
However, boys are boisterous, and it is a lot for you to be your dad mode is high intensity, and then you've got this business, as we discussed before, like never switching off from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's certain people say that there's 4 hours of deep work is more like productive than trying to like do 8 hours and force yourself and not be be in and out of it and having breaks and all that. So I don't know. You do all right, mate.
Hopefully,
And there's nothing wrong in trying to be better either. I think it's healthy.
Yeah, 100%. It's not. It leads into a self-doubt. Like I really don't like the stress from the pressure that leads into self-doubt. Or am I good enough for this or good enough for that? And that is what I'm really trying to struggle with.
Imposter syndrome is a big one.
Yeah. Okay, so that could lead into that. Yeah. Oh, all the time. I'm just horrendous.
You do a lot. Mitch doesn't have much confidence in himself, and I always like beat you up for that. Not physically, but just like, mate, come on. Like sometimes, no disrespect, everyone's on their own journey. Yeah. But sometimes you just have to look at what other people are doing and making a living from it and doing okay, and then you go, actually, I'm not that bad. But there's a few times where I go into it and think, what? So sometimes I'm like, how am I here doing this? Like you've got a good job, and you think, how, like why me?
Yeah, I am.
I'm not good enough for this.
I really,
but I don't get that often.
Yeah. I get it a lot. Not necessarily that I'm not. Well, I don't think of it. I don't think of it in the sense of I'm not good enough, even though that is definitely something I do think about. But the main thing I think about is like, this has just come easy, but it hasn't, because I forget about all the hard work that I've done to get into.
You feel like it's come easy. What do you mean?
So well, I'm here, but what have I actually done to get here? But
oh, you mean you feel like you haven't done much to get those up? Right.
Do you know what I'm trying to say on that?
I do. That's a different perspective on imposter syndrome to my head, but I have felt like that. Sometimes I don't feel like I've worked hard to get where I am.
But then Bev reminds me, well, yeah, but when she's in bed, it's 10 o'clock at night. I know, going back to, I can't work heavy during the night, but I do have moments where like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Well, for instance, it's 10 o'clock now.
10 o'clock now.
We're filming, and the average person who does a 9 to 5 isn't doing that,
They're
and
on
I forget.
Netflix.
And I forget because it's with my old job that it was working into the nights and just working long hours. That is my lifestyle, working like longer hours and that stuff, and I don't take into consideration that I actually do that. That is me putting the time in, like
we said, we've done a full day work at freelancing. This is our passion project, right? And we've done that. But yeah, no, there's definitely, now you've said that, there's definitely times where I'm like, I don't feel like I work hard enough, or I don't feel like I've worked hard enough to have this opportunity. I don't feel like I've done much. And Rachel will be like, babe, like you had a full-time job. You stopped going out. You stopped playing, you gaming. You learn a skill outside of a full-time job, and put yourself out there. Quit a guaranteed monthly salary to chase something. And you're like, yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, there's loads of times I'm like, well, I'm like winging it here. How did I don't deserve this.
That's exactly what it is. That does lead for me. My interpretation of imposter syndrome is like, I just don't do enough. But then I feel like I don't do. Again, it's a branch of that whole. Well, if I don't do something, I'm not doing enough.
We spoke about that on another episode.
We mentioned it just in regards to like, if I'm not doing something, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
If I haven't got work in, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then it leads on to, I'm not doing enough. In full stop.
Yeah.
So how am I here?
Yeah.
And it just.
Yeah.
And that's this episode.
Is it?
Yeah. And that's the end of that.
Give me some whiplash looking at you.
We before the episode started, we were chatting and trying to get a subject matter basically.
So what shall we talk about?
Yeah, what should we talk about? And it kind of came to us quite mutually that this in itself, the struggles of
10.
I know, after a long day, and that's what we wanted to talk to you about. So hopefully we kind of got that across in this episode. It was a bit of a. It was we were. It
was a conversation.
Yeah, it was a conversation, and that's what we're trying to aim for. So, if you guys have had any struggles with work life, with anything, we want to hear from you guys. So, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next one
next week.
That's it. Yeah.